NK Telco Sports welcomes you to our coverage of men's college basketball, where tonight the Heidelberg Student Princes take on the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco. Here inside the King Horton Center, Mike Hurd and Rich Bensman, and tonight's a OAC battle that desperately Ohio Northern needs a win in. 9-10 on the year, 4-8 in the OAC. The Student Princes at 12 and 7, 8-4. You look at kind of how we got to this point, Rich. You need the top six. You need to be in the top six. Northern right now sitting just outside of that. They get a win here tonight, and hopefully an Otterbein loss, they can really kind of control their own destiny. But they've got a murderer's row of teams along the way. They come off 4 straight losses, including one, a heartbreaker at Alliance on Saturday, 96-78. They've lost by a combined 41 points. How do they right the ship against a team that beat Otterbein at the buzzer in their last game?
Yeah, well, being back at home is going to be nice for the Polar Bears. And, you go into every OAC contest, you can throw out all the records because they're all really good games. And you just got to protect the home court. We're sitting 7th, or Ohio Northern sitting 7th right now, so this would be a really nice win for Ohio Northern University.
You look at the Keyhole Pizza keys to the game. First for the Berg, and 11th year head coach Andy Buheit. 132 and 134. His team tied for the 3rd spot in the OAC with Marietta. One thing he wants to talk about a lot is to utilize the size and the speed that this team has. Feed Eric Panning, 16 points, 12 rebounds a game. Win the rebound battle. The Berg averages about 43 a game, or Ohio Northern at 33 a game. And 2 and 3 in that kind of go together and kind of go directly into Ohio Northern's keys. Play ONU basketball, control the tempo, and try to slow down Trey Watkins. But a big part of what Coach Young talked about to me earlier in the day was, he said Eric Panning is a monster. It's just flat and simple. We have to keep him in check, not let him get dumped downs on offensive rebounds and putbacks, control the rim, shoot the 3 at a high level, and make sure we don't turn it over, because that's one thing that has sort of plagued the Bears in their losses.
Yeah, Eric has really come along. He's been at Heidelberg now for a few years, and he's really come along over the years, got stronger. He can shoot the 3 pretty well, too, is sitting at 6'10". So he's pretty good. Obviously, Trey Watkins can hoop, and then Zane Lightwine, you're going to have to really, he can, if he's got an open 3, we got to contest the 3 there because he can shoot the basketball. He's been here at Heidelberg for a few years as well.
That game against Otterbein on Saturday, 79-78, snapped a 2-game losing streak, and it was an odd game too because it featured 10 different lead changes. It was tied 7 times, and a lot of the guys you talked about, Watkins and Young, each had 16. Cobb had 15. Panning had 15, but it was his defense, what he did late in that game, blocked a shot with 12 seconds to go. And because basketball is a weird sport, he got called for traveling, gave Otterbein a second chance. Julian Heckman missed from the corner on a deflected shot. Sometimes better lucky than good.
Yeah, and you talked about one of the keys is rebounding the basketball. Heidelberg's been really known for really crashing the offensive boards really hard and getting second chance points. They're pretty good athletes, and they get to the rim pretty hard on offensive boards.
Northern leads 58-27 here in Ada, but we've got a terrific rendition of the national anthem coming up. We'll talk about the starters and get this game kicked off here in Ada. Polar Bears, Student Princes here on NK Telco Sports. You know, anytime she's here doing the anthem, she always does a bang-up job.
Yeah, she's good.
I always get chills, and then I always think, I wish I could sing even remotely like that. Mine, I just get kicked out of karaoke. That may be a completely different problem. Big matchup here means there's a lot of fans in attendance, and not a bad drive, not a great drive down from Tiffin, but
about an hour.
It's there's not really a great way to get there. You kind of go to the back roads, go through Finley, go to some more back roads.
Yeah, you actually head down Route 30, get off one of those roads, and just kind of wind through just back roads all the way.
Just the scenery.
Yeah.
That's outside of Ada.
It's like 55 minutes or something, so that's not too bad.
I think you're speeding.
I wasn't.
There's a cop. Yeah, sure. It wasn't me. Yeah.
It was our travel bus.
Sure. Heidelberg again coming in at 12-7. Currently tied for the third spot in the OAC women's game and getting ready to get started at Sieberling Gymnasium. And a terrific matchup on both sides. Again, the Bears all time leading this margin 108-68. But it's Heidelberg who's won 5 of the last 6, including the one in Tiffin on December the 6th, 81-68. And it does not get easy, no matter how you kind of put this out about where either team goes. I mean, you've got road games at Muskingum, at Baltimore, at Wilmington. If you're Heidelberg, you've got to go to Baltimore and Capital. But you get 4 of the last 6 here at home. And if you're ever going to control your own destiny, that's not a bad way to do it if you're the Bears.
No, and that's exactly right. But you know, Ohio Northern's played pretty well on their home floor for the most part this entire season.
So it'll be Trey Watkins who will start it off for the Student Princes, wearing a 0. Zane Lightwine will wear number 3. Luckily, I can read Isaiah Young in the dark, now with number 12 on his back. That's a guy to slow down. 15 points a game for him. 21 belonging to Carter Plyman, the Watkins state champion at 6'5", the freshman. And at 23, Eric Panning, 6'10" senior, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 1.6 blocks per game. That is a lineup that can flat out get it done. They are averaging 81 points a game. And is that maybe part of Northern's key? I know we talked about the keys to the game, but just make sure that they don't continue to get the amount of shots that they've gotten all season.
Yeah, and they're a little higher with the amount they're giving up this year. They led the OAC last year with points given up, and part of that is really playing good defense, but also when you run a motion offense and you run through a lot of screens offensively, that's going to shorten the game a little bit, and when that shortens the game, that also contributes to them leading the OAC in fewest points allowed. So this year a little higher than that, around 70-something that they're giving up. But once again, it's a young team, so there are a lot of growing curves here with Ohio Northern. Yet and they played some really good basketball.
Polar Bears will go with Will Miller, Blake Michael, Carter Reese, Johnny Cunningham, and the young man you see in the center circle, and Caden Jacoby, the 6'8" freshman at 8 points a game, and the ball. We're posturing.
Yeah.
How about that?
He held that there for a little bit, didn't he?
I've actually never seen that happen before. So it'll be Heidelberg who will operate right to left in front of us here in the first half. I'm excited to see Panning. I know that he can flat out get it done. I mean, You see him kind of bouncing in there, he and Jacoby. It's a good matchup on both sides because they're both, obviously Panning wants to get a lot lower, but Jacoby did a good job of spooning him all the way up top as a miss from Watkins.
So there's that offensive rebound, and I was talking about Zane Lightwine got some second chance points here.
I think he was a little bit lucky too.
Yeah, Northern's coming out in a really good man-to-man defense again, making them and moving the basketball a little bit.
Lyman thought about taking it. Baseline jumper, spins in and out. Eventually, Cunningham, who had that terrific game with everything but scoring in his last game. Johnny had 3 points, 9 rebounds. Will Miller for 3, 8 assists, 4 steals. And it only makes sense because a young lady named Carly Turbin from Will's hometown of Audubon broke the county record with 9 threes last night that he would carry it over.
Yeah, well, it was a great transition. They moved the basketball up the floor in transition, kind of got a low touch with a wide open Will Miller for the kind of trailing, and I'm sure Andy Buhai is not extremely pleased with that transition defense in that series. You can't leave a Will Miller wide open on transition.
I wouldn't recommend it. You can. It's just not going to end well. There was a long conversation with Coach about what he didn't think that last set of plays was in the offensive foul.
For a moving screen, didn't they? Yeah.
I think that's what he's still arguing.
Yeah.
Ball knocked out of play. And, you know, a lot of this for me kind of hinges for Northern on how well Carter Reese plays.
Yeah.
He had 14 points. He averages about 15 a game. He's in the top 10 in scoring. But if he can't get his threes to drop, it sort of befuddles the rest of Northern's offense at times, where he was 2 for 10 on Saturday.
And when they're dropping, he can get them going.
He had that game in front of us where he had, I think, 4 straight. Now Miller straight away looking for his night. That was woefully short.
Yeah, he kind of rushed that a little bit, kind of got it off a little quick.
I have that problem too.
Yeah.
My shots don't go in because they're just too quick.
Yeah.
People don't see that, you know. It's also thrown me off a little bit too, because Heidelberg's got that two-tone black and gray. There's no orange whatsoever. It's the drop, too strong. Trying to take out the camera over there.
Yeah, Heidelberg's had some decent looks in there. If Panning would have just shown a little bit more, he probably would have had a layup. But Ohio Northern's still playing that really good man defense. Defensively for Heidelberg, they're coming out in a man as well. They really show hard on that ball screen. You might be able to turn it to the wing and get a post touch.
I will be just waiting to see how, with Coach Buhite, how this falls out. As Jotty with a nice pass inside. A little hide-and-seek game, because he got everybody in misdirection looking the wrong way, and Jacoby put it in to go up 5-0.
So that was interesting on a side ball.
Jotty with another steal and a 1-on-2. He'll go to the rack looking for the foul. Nope, got the basket, though. Turnover and a point. That's what Northern needs to do. But I'm waiting to see how this goes with Heidelberg's head coach, because he has 3 times now been told, go get back in your box, by the same official.
Yeah, he'll be out there again.
He's at midcourt now. Yeah. He's like having 6 players on his side, because he makes 2 of them disappear for me. He's a large man.
It's interesting, Heidelberg on those wing ball screens, they're kind of forcing, what we call a feather screen, forcing baseline, but on the top ball screens, they're showing really hard. It's really good defense that series, Mike, by Ohio Northern.
Well, I was kind of honestly waiting to see if on the drive that Panning was going to get called for the shot clock violation, or just Northern was going to get it on the miss.
Yeah.
Bench for the turnover. Both teams at about 13 a game, racing down and stripped on his way out. Watkins, he had designs that he was going to do the same thing that Northern did on the other end, sort of that ball fake on the way up, lean in and draw the foul, but it just didn't go that way.
Right. Well, they got it stripped low right there in the pocket. You like to come in with the opposite hand when you're trailing on defense like that, because if you come in on the same side hand, you're going to get some arm. But if you come in with an opposite hand and you strip down, you're going to get all ball.
It's a precision strip timeout. We'll stay here at 16:47 with the media timeout not all that far away. You look at the early part of the women's game up in Tiffin. It's 7-7. Right, actually, Northern just took a 9-7 lead. As I was saying that, they came out hot. 4 of 8 from the field, but winning the rebounding battle. Abby Akamina's already got a 3. Brent Serban's got a couple. You expect that's how a lot of that game is going to go. And that, again, kind of another team posturing themselves right now, more than likely that 2 seed on the women's side.
Yeah, which would be nice because of how they do things now with 6 teams only making it in versus the 8 that made it prior to that.
Ohio Northern in this game shooting 3 of 5. Heidelberg's 0 for 4 from the field so far, as Plyman saves it in the corner, and I'm sure there's quite a Botkins contingent here.
Yeah, they're going to call Blake Michael for a little hold on Eric Penning.
Yeah, junior.
Yeah, there are some Botkins.
Mason Studer, Noah Langford into the game for the Polar Bears. Out will go Miller. It's kind of always one of those things. It's so nice. I mean, 1,000-point scorer in high school, kid that was just terrific, as he's got a heck of a mentor in Panning, and he shows why right there as he gets the first 2 for Heidelberg.
Yeah, and see, that's what Eric's doing a lot better job of as he matured and got older. To be honest with you, he kind of, his freshman year especially, kind of hung around the 3-point line, and he could shoot the 3, and he wasn't as strong posting up down low. He was long, 6'10", but he's got a lot better post move right now in presence.
All OAC player a year ago. Polar Bears giving up their first points here, and they took Miller out, so somebody else is going to have to shoot it.
Yeah, doing a really good job running that motion offense all around the free throw line. Got different thing you can curl it.
What a great move by Jacoby.
Yeah,
turned away and then went baseline with that little hook.
That's a nice little half hook he has.
He averages 8. He's got 4. First 4 minutes gone. Whose game are you a bigger fan of as a team right now? Don't look at the scoreboard, just overall.
Oh, I think Ohio Northern right now. That motion offense, I don't think Heidelberg's interested in sitting down and guarding for that many screens and that many changes of the floor. So I would continue, just keep running that half-court motion offense around the free throw line.
Well, and you talked about Lightwine, and as I was asking you that, he was putting the ball in the bucket. Lightwine out of Gahanna Lincoln High School. It's actually, I thought it was fascinating as Jacoby, with a great screen. That's got to be a goaltend, right?
So
Reese with a great pass.
Yeah, so once again, right there in that top ball screen or high ball screen, Heidelberg really hard hedges that and holds with the post guy. And so that's watched on film. That quick roll or dive out of the post who's setting that screen's wide open.
Ottawa Glandorf's Theo Mag in for Ohio Northern. You've got Jashawn Cobb out of Cleveland. He played at Benedictine High School as part of the terrific program they've got there. But he didn't start at Heidelberg. He actually started at Penn State Shenango, where he went 1 year and averaged 19 a game. Oh, and he also tore up Defiance for 24. Ball stolen away, and Studer immediately turned back to make sure there was no Student Prince behind him. Back up top, Studer for 3.
Yeah, Panning thought that pass was coming to him, and it was actually a skip pass for the guard.
It's already 4 turnovers for Heidelberg. Speaking of guys that are tall and long, Emil Jenkins, the 6'8 grad student.
Yeah.
I saw him walk in earlier when I got here and thought, yeah, no, he's every bit of 6'8". He's a foot taller than I am.
Yeah, and he's long.
He's a very large human being.
Good wingspan.
14:49 to go. Theo Mag now working on the exact same guy I was just talking about. Mag, who can throw dimes. I tried to compliment him a couple of weeks ago as it comes back to him. Waited for Jenkins to go by, and the foul. What a move for the freshman.
It was a great pass by Blake Michael. Kind of showed the ball a little bit for the shot, got his defender off the ground, but he saw the roll of Theo Mag, and it was a great pass, and it was a great look. That's going to be there on that top ball screen. They show so hard that pass, as long as you can make it, is going to be wide open.
Theo Mag's got 1 shot here, 11 games this year. His career high 4 on 2 different occasions. He's got 3 quick. He just checked in no more than 30 seconds ago. It gives that Polar Bear lead up to 9. Isaiah Young.
There's what we call a flat ball screen up at the top, so you can go either way with it.
Oh, in the lob.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, what? That did not go in.
Yeah, it did, Micah.
No, it didn't. It hit the bottom of the net. That did not go in.
Huh. No, you're right. They're waving it off.
I'm not quite sure what we're doing here because they're going to argue about it, but that does not go in.
A little bit of confusion here, Mike, right now.
I don't think it's a little bit. I
on
think
the
it's
basketball floor. Looks like it's going to be Heidelberg's ball. No, they're changing their mind. It's timeout.
So 14:21 to go in the first half. On the First National Bank scoreboard, it is a 14-5 lead for Northern here on NK Telco Sports. have admitted, usually at home when I'm wrong, and I will eat this one. All I saw was the ball on the bottom of the net. That shot went in.
Yeah, we just watched the replay. It was that's why when it happened, I went, oh wow, because they were looking for the lob to Panning, because Panning set a flat ball screen, and you can kind of go either way with that. And they lobbed it to him off the roll, and it went in the basket. But
that is the most insane three-pointer I've seen made in a while.
Yeah.
And again, I'll admit when I'm wrong. That shot went in. I watched the replay twice.
Yeah, it went in.
But unfortunately, only if they designated it beforehand.
That's right.
Can you use that replay.
Very deceptive.
Keep in mind, though, put that in your memory bank.
Yeah.
About 14 and a half minutes ago, if Heidelberg, for some reason, were to lose by 3, again, thinking that they wouldn't have scored on this possession, that'll be something. And again, that only happens, by the way, because we have great camera work that goes out of their way to prove Mike Hearn doesn't know what he's talking about.
It's interesting. I think Heidelberg's had some good looks. They just couldn't. They can't put the ball in the basket. Pretty strong drive. Mike, on those flat ball screens, you can they're really dangerous because you got put shooters in the corner, and you can go either way because they're not designated which way they're going. So we usually always said force them towards the benches.
So that is the media timeout. There's a precision strip timeout. We'll take it as well. Here it is 14-5 on NK Telco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
14-5, 13:53 here in the first half. Women's game going on up in Tiffin. Ohio Northern, who was tied at 7, now has opened up a 21-15 lead in that game. Lima Senior product Cheyenne Bean just got a bucket for Heidelberg, though, to bring it to within. Of course, Mackenzie Soprano hit a 3 right before that because that's what Mackenzie does.
That's right.
Polar Bear women is shooting 8 for 19 in that ball game. You look at the stats so far in this ball game. Northern shooting 6 of 9. Heidelberg is 2 of 9. Polar Bears have the only 3. They've turned it over once. They picked up 4 points off 4 Heidelberg turnovers. So 14-5. The Putnam County connection, and Will Miller and Theo Mag throw it in for ONU.
So see, look how long they hold that. He just now got reattached with the post.
Will Miller tried the reversal. He did a great job, by the way, the last time around of leaning into that foul right before the break that he got Deshaun Cobb.
Yeah, he's deceptively quick. He's got a great first step off the bounce. And he's leading the league, or he's 3rd in the league in steals. He's really crafty. He understands basketball. He's got a good basketball IQ, and that always puts him in a good position to make a steal.
Thanks in no small part to his head coach, Keith Utendorf at Ottoville. He didn't do much to help him. He says that because he knows Keith Utendorf's watching.
See, a lot of back cutting there off of that screening by the elbow, so it's going to keep Heidelberg's pressure on the forecourt a little tougher.
Northern did not get the shot off.
Yeah.
Just the second time, and so many of those kind of with that same thing of, I love that play, the reversal, and Northern does a lot of it under Coach Young of putting the big guy up top, letting him sort of look down through the defense and being able to work backwards.
Yeah, and that time it came down to crunch time with the shot clock with Mason Studer, and he didn't get it off in time.
Jenkins on the up and under, has nowhere to go, goes, well, he didn't until he made some room.
And it's just what I'm talking about. That was a really strong move to the hoop, and it just goes in and out.
So still 14-5. Conley with a sneak behind 3 off the right side. Look at the powerful rebound by Langford.
Yeah.
He'll go up and they'll disappear into my view behind the wall of coaching.
Yeah.
Johnny Cunningham returns for ONU.
That's a good job on the offensive boards by Ohio Northern. If anything, over the years, I think on defensive rebounds, Heidelberg sometimes gets a little lax, but offensively they go to the boards pretty strong. But right now, it's Ohio Northern looks like the stronger team going to the boards.
Ref had to watch out. Brady Bosma, the 6'4 sophomore, almost stole that one away into the cheerleaders. Bosma's got 4 siblings, played a year of golf. Went to West Ottawa High School in Holland, Michigan. Same place as L. Frank Baum, who wrote The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Cunningham with an off-balance 3. And that's 2 straight possessions now. One, ONU gets the shot. The other, they're forced to shoot late, and they don't come away with anything.
Yeah. Coach Buhai was arguing a moving screen there. I didn't quite see that much there. This
official didn't like it either. Oh, look at the shoes.
Yeah.
Great jump stop right in front of Theo Mag for Cobb.
But great help defense there. There was nothing going.
And eventually, right past, Markel Johnson-Nichols made every single move to get himself free, the Pick Central freshman.
Yeah, see, Heidelberg, and traditionally, they've always had some pretty good separators on the basketball floor. By that, I mean, Mike, they can separate individually from the defense.
Miller got one too many moves going. Kind of had everything that he was going to go to his left, wanted to work back to his right, shuffled his feet, and there was no place like home, but he got called for the travel.
Yeah.
Trey Watkins back in as Northern will switch out their big guys and bring back Caden Jacoby, who had that 6-point run early on. Theo Mag's giving them great minutes, though.
Yeah, Theo's coming in. They kind of mixed up the rotation a little bit, went deeper, added Theo as an extra big man along with Hayden Hansen. So I think it might be, for down the stretch, could be good for the legs.
There's a line drive by Bosma.
Yeah, there's that offensive rebounding. You've got to get a body. You got to get a block out on Heidelberg. They're athletic, and they're going to go up and get that rebound.
I think with Zachary Chapman, you might want to put 2 guys on him.
Yeah.
He is a load, 6'6" out of St. Ed's.
Dang, that was a nice cut. He had it.
And the ball taken away by Panning.
Yeah, Will could have went right up with that ball.
Girl in the front row. Is that coming my way? No, thank you. But an offensive foul is.
Yeah, pushed off a little bit to get that opening from that lob.
So Chapman with his first foul, the 5th turnover. Good minutes, though, for a lot of guys so far. I mean, you're going deep into the bench. Everybody has played 11 to 10 in terms of guys who have played. So 21 guys already here is a hard screen set by Blake Michael. Cunningham will kick to the corner.
And a man down, get that shot off.
Miller with the miss. Just one shot and done for the Polar Bears on 3 of their last 4 possessions. Still, though, with a 14-9 lead. Well, make it 14-11.
Yeah, those are the shots that they were getting earlier, but they just weren't falling. And right now, the thing with, there you go.
Reese. Just up the street.
Yep.
That's from 14-11 now. Halfway through this first half, and the foul.
Reach around on Blake Michael. He kind of didn't get around him to 3-quarter front him, so he got caught up behind him.
That's his second. Likely that he's going to come out here pretty soon. Zane Lightwine will come back in, and the young man who just checked out in Chapman, he was being told, his head coach was being told, rather, that something needs to change here, because there was a battle that was going on.
Oh, there's a lob. Good job by Will Call.
I didn't see it.
No, so when they run that little pass to the elbow, you got to create separation, but you can come over with the opposite guy and take that out of the air. I thought
Miller got the ball.
I do,
to be honest with you.
I do too.
But I was wrong earlier, so what do I know?
Okay, good job by Jacoby not letting him back down low. They're going to call a foul on Jacoby.
Panning will get to the line, and quickly that foul tally runs up to 5.
Yeah, here we
second
go.
on Jacoby.
Here comes that lob again. If not, it'll be an automatic back screen to free it up. So, nope, little screen to Lightwine.
And a kick ball because Jacoby's long.
So the way Ohio Northern guards that out of bounds, that backside block, Mike, is kind of vulnerable.
I didn't realize Jacoby played soccer. I knew he was an all-Ohioan playing basketball. But Apparently he did. He kicked that one perfectly. Back the opposite way. Now, just enough of that.
Stepped on the line.
Just enough off balance. And ONU will give it away. Women halfway through the second quarter, leading 33-22 against Heidelberg. Jada Benjamin knocked down a three. Polar Bear women have hit 7 threes in the first half already. Speaking of threes, Trey Watkins from the bowling alley right as you come in town.
That was a different area code. That was 513 area code up in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I don't know that was going to work, but ONU a little too fast.
And they started with a box set, down the screen, hit the wing, and then seal the post.
Actually, it'd have to be 614 because it's from Columbus.
Yeah, it would be 614.
He might have taken it from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But a kid that played at South has 9 sisters and 8 brothers.
Yeah.
Does Trey Watkins. But that's a heck of a pickup game.
Yeah. Wow, Northern's doing a good job of getting in the lanes and muddied up. See, there's always help, but he just didn't quite finish it that time.
And the poke on the stick back. Just enough for Zane Lightwine. That's his second. Gives his team just a 1-point disadvantage now.
Sometimes when you run that motion, and if you can sustain good defense throughout the entire possession of the shot clock, they don't get good looks towards the end of the shot clock, and that's kind of what happened the last few times down the floor.
Jacoby with that little bunny. Can't find the bottom of the hoop. Right now, there's about 9 minutes to go here in this first half. Each team has a guy or has had a guy in the last couple of minutes. Northern's got 2 of them.
Yeah, it's a good timeout.
On the floor with 2 fouls. Are you a fan of that?
What's that?
Having a guy on the floor in this juncture with 2 fouls.
Yes, and now probably Nate Berger probably is really upset listening at home because we took him out with 2 to go against Alma, and we ended up losing the game by 2, and he's still not happy with me on that to this day. And Campoli was a big fan of taking him out, but I probably, if you could trust a player to stay on the floor without getting that 3rd foul, you got to kind of go with that, I think, a little bit.
So it's a precision strip timeout as we just hit 30 seconds here. It's a fascinating kind of thing, though, from a coaching standpoint. Although I'd imagine that's a conversation of a lot of coaches of, I trust the kid, but I trusted him not to get his 2nd foul, and he did.
Yeah.
Can I trust him and hope that he doesn't get that 3rd one?
Yeah, but as deep as teams are now, sometimes I think you can take the risk to go ahead and sit him, just depending on who he is now.
Well, the answer was, how long was Will Miller going to be in? He finally checked out in that last sequence. Mason Studer will eventually return, but
they're trying for that lob.
Jacoby
Great job,
on the lob as if it was thrown to him.
Yeah.
Picks it off, and there have been 2 guys. There's one on each side.
Yeah.
One of them is Carter Reese for Northern that hasn't scored yet. The other is Isaiah Young. If you're a defensive coach, I would think you're happy with what you've done to those guys.
Well, they're 3-quarter shading Carter Reese right now defensively. So right there, that's why that drive was open from Jotty. They weren't going to leave Carter Reese because they're what I call 3-quarter shading him, kind of sticking on him a little bit. And that's what a lot of teams are doing now, Mike.
Oh, Panning bumped at the basket. He was able to turn, square himself, and put it off the glass for his 5th point. That's an impressive move, not only because it gives your team a lead for the first time, but because he took a pretty good amount of contact.
Yeah, and he's gotten stronger over the years. He's long, and he could actually get up and shoot a little jumper off of that. So,
also kind of falling away from it.
If we can get a backdoor basket here somewhere. Nice little handoff.
Oh, Reese nearly lost his own footing. I think it's the hockey ice underneath, right?
There's the back door.
Johnny can't get the
That's the long
bounce.
arms of Panning that disrupted that a little bit.
And the long throw again from Carter Plyman.
He wasn't even looking for it. See, that's that hesitation dribble. He's still trying to get to the rim. You can't leave him open.
It's a 5-point run now. Zane Lightwine. He is at 16 of 67, but he banks one through here. It's a precision strip timeout on the First National Bank scoreboard. The Bears trail by 4 here on NK Telco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course. It's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Kehoe Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Wow. I can't do that. That is impressive. So out of the precision strip timeouts, I always want to go get that pizza every time I see that commercial.
Oh, Kehoe pizza's good.
I am never in a position to where I'm down that far, but I almost want to drive just to go get it. No onions, though. I'm not a big onion guy.
Yeah.
What's your go-to pizza?
I like pepperoni, mushroom, onion, and sausage.
Oh, we're not getting pizza together then.
Yeah, no.
I don't need all that. I don't
Yeah,
need fungus. Sorry, my wife and I have to order two different pizzas.
Maybe green pepper.
I just give me
I like
just,
a plain pepperoni too, Mike.
Well,
I'm not too picky.
especially if it's free, I've learned.
That's right.
If they,
Sitting across the way is our men's track team and women's track team, and
they also like free pizza.
talk about Bodkins. You got Keaton Snipple over there who runs for us, who was actually from Bodkins.
That works. So you don't want to have it run back to Bakken, so.
Yeah.
Miller back in for three. Skims the top of the rim. Coach Young doing a good job of recruiting from the area.
That's a
Ball
good
just
job.
dropped Theo Mag with about the easiest steal you can get.
Yeah.
Oh, look what I found.
Now, if we could just, we had a 7-minute scoring drought there, or Ohio Northern has, and if we could just get off the snide here.
Here it is. Nope. Looked like a good shot from Langford. See it just 6 out of 26 now.
He's
on
going to
the year.
take it to the rim.
Johnson Nichols
That was a strong drive.
hit on his way to the basket by Carson Conley.
Yeah, so he's got a really good, quick crossover move.
We're apparently now in a myriad of timeouts.
Yeah.
They all happen right together.
Well, now it's the media.
Now we hit the media timeout. 18-14 Heidelberg on a timeout, and we'll just stay here. It's brought to you by Precision Strip. You look at the young man at the line here in just a couple of seconds, and Markel Johnson-Nichols, the freshman out of Reynoldsburg, played at Pick Central, but there are a lot of guys who have seen each other, and you get a lot more of that in the OAC and at the D3 level of who have seen each other, whether it's AAU or kind of just around high school and all that. It always makes, to me, for better games because those guys want to play against each other. We've seen it before when Capital comes here, that sometimes you get former high school teammates playing against each other.
Yeah, and Coach Buhai, he's a Cincinnati LaSalle kid product over at Cincinnati, but he does.
He's probably just happy you called him kid.
Yeah, right. Well, I call everybody kids now. You know, hey, but he does a great job out of Columbus recruiting. You know, he always has, and they do a great job getting some Columbus kids.
He's done a good job, though, too, lately of kind of going up into Northeast Ohio and poaching talent, because it talked about Deshaun Cobb, how he started at Penn State Shenango. He's a Cleveland kid. It got him to come back. He was able to go into Mansfield and get Riley Gossam. Got Isaiah Young from Akron. Got Zach Wortley from Canton. And then he's able to go up into Michigan a little bit. And he didn't forget going into his own backyard, getting a kid like Garrett Spawn from Tiffin.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't imagine how that is, of throwing darts and then saying, what is it that I can tell this kid that is the magic dust?
Well, and generally, you have a couple target areas, and if you get outside of that area because of your major, like an engineering or a pharmacy, then you do, but you can't hit them all. And so you generally have some target areas that you kind of want to kind of hit and focus on.
I think that happened to a guy in Columbus. You can't get them all.
Yeah.
I think that's why people are mad at him.
Yep. I think Ohio Northern really focuses a great deal on Northwest Ohio, which is really, really a good thing.
Which isn't bad, because there's a lot of great athletes.
You're going to get some solid, fundamental individuals out of Northwest Ohio.
Johnson Nichols hits 1 out of 2. Last time he scored, it was a 14-7 Ohio Northern lead. Yeah. My math says that's a 12-0 run, and Northern, like you said, hasn't scored since I think the Titanic was launched.
Yeah. Oh, God, they got that back door.
There it is.
Yep.
Manifest it backwards for Carter Reese.
Yeah. See what you do when you got the pressure, Heidelberg's pressuring on the front up high. You got to set them up high, and you got to make the cuts low and capture the basket.
Mag got in front of a defender, or got in front and turned into a defender just enough to keep it away from Plyman.
Once again, it was a very good looking 5-foot, 10-footer for.
Trying that same give and go with Mag. up high instead. He'll try to get himself to the basket. Studer will reverse it back to him at 5:42. Mag now spins. Beautiful move, baseline away. Bumped inside.
Great job.
And Theo Bill with another 2. He's got 5.
So that was a great move versus a 6'10 guy with a little more length. He got into him, started with a spin move. Looked like he wanted up and under, but he just got into him body-wise and got a great shot.
It's back the opposite way, hanging and banging. Nope. Thought maybe that was going to be an opportunity that Panning was going to slam one home, but it came off just high enough.
Yeah.
So the Polar Bears back to within 1. Miller trying to make that a Polar Bear lead.
Where's Theo going?
I was curious. I thought Theo was leaving.
He was heading the other way.
His mom and dad are down on the other end. I thought maybe he was going to say hi.
See what they do out of a box set here, out of bounds. A little back screen series off into a staggered screen for Carter Reese.
It's always a good choice.
Yeah.
Miller off that screen coming the other way with 5 minutes to go in the first half.
They had Studer briefly there off of a staggered screen.
Reese kind of working a 1-on-3. I was sitting there thinking about how that wasn't necessarily going to work well, but Ohio Northern will get the ball. It seemed like as Reese was backing down, when he was looking out, he was kind of waiting for somebody to come either to the elbow or to the corner.
Well, and they doubled him, and they're going to continue to do that. So sometimes it might behoove people to make a little move, either a relocation cut or a Laker cut to the basket to keep Heidelberg honest defensively.
You guys just call things where you stole them from?
You can, and we did, but I got a story about that here in a little bit. A coach used to always say, you know, even if you didn't get the drill from Michigan State or Michigan or wherever it might be, Kentucky, call it that because the kids are going to respond. So I was at a basketball clinic one time, and I don't know, I think it was Patino might have said that a long time ago. But
okay, let me pick those names up that you're just dropping.
Yeah, right. But honestly, Mike, with us, that's probably who I got it from.
I had a coach recently tell me, no, I don't do that. I don't watch basketball. He said, we just name it whatever we want.
Yeah.
I said, well, that's an approach.
Yeah, I know some guys that do that as well.
I've heard other coaches flat out say, was an offensive foul on Carter Reese on the other end, by the way. Kind of an oddity. He went to the official and said, are you sure? I said, I'm pretty sure. Mason Studer's first foul. But coaches tell me all the time, oh, no, we just call it wherever we stole it from.
Yeah.
So we're not fancy.
No, that's most likely the case. But I did laugh at that clinic when, I don't know which coach said it, but he said just call it the Celtics shooting.
It's called the Red Auerbach.
Yeah.
So the miss.
And he's good off the bounce. He's quick.
So quick. He gets from here to there in a hurry.
And that's what I meant by separators. They can get you off the bounce pretty well or take a shot.
And again, there was a point earlier on where it looked like Ohio Northern was going to try to run and hide with the score. That awkward 3 that counted but didn't.
Yeah, well, right. That was interesting. They were really crowding the lane on Will Miller's drive there. That's going to be a hold on big boy there, number 31.
Yeah, so Emil Jenkins, a 6'8 grad student, with his second foul. So back in will come Panning. Now Panning's got just the 1 foul. He's got 5 points. Last time he scored, he put the Berg on top 15-14. That was almost exactly 4 minutes ago.
See what the box set, little cross screen, a little back screen. That was kind of Carter Reese was the screener, and sometimes the screener gets open.
How did Miller catch that?
I don't know, but that could have went the other way quick, but it was a great job of snagging it out of the air.
Missed it.
Oh, boy.
Now on the throw, a turnover. Bears will give it right back. ONU women leading 43-26 at the break. And the highlight reel hit Theo Mag, and watch him go to work tonight.
That was a great pass by Carter Reese. Kind of one-handed bounce pass right through the middle.
That was off Studer's foot.
Yeah.
I thought that was off Studer's foot.
Well, they're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about it.
I'm pretty sure from the angle that I have, that was off of Studer's foot. But I've been wrong before.
We'll take it.
Recently.
Now, I hate to say they're good turnovers and they're bad turnovers. Bad turnovers, you're aloof with the basketball and you're not taking care of it. But that time, Heidelberg was trying to push it up the floor to Panning, and they kind of made an over-the-head pass, but it just was a little too much.
Reese with a step back. Beautiful rainbow.
That was with Eric Panning, 6'10", Panning in his grill a little bit. That was a great shot.
Gave him a deep 2. So it's 22-21 ONU. And immediately, Deshaun Cobb puts 2 more back on the other side. You can hit us up, by the way, if you're watching online, where you're watching from, who you're rooting for.
Yeah.
Already a handful of people that say go Bears.
There's a little curl cut for Carter Reese. Didn't get it, but they had a switch Panning on him, so a little misbounce off the bounce. Gave him a lot of space there.
That one's a 3. Yep. No doubt about that.
Yeah. See, Panning's giving him a step because Carter could take him off the bounce, but he's long enough to do that as well. But Carter, that's 2 in a row. He had Eric Panning kind of with outstretched arms that he shot over.
So eventually, Northern will probably reverse and throw one inside when he does that. He'll try to stay home as Jenkins on that quick cross into the corner. 3, ripped the net up and down for Bosma.
Really good inside-out basketball. It wasn't a post touch, but it was a drive the lane, get the ball on the inside, 1 extra pass, another pass, and he was wide open.
Yeah, these kind of games would make me nervous, I think, if I was both coaches.
Yeah, well, I mean, Heidelberg won pretty good.
Oh, he tried again. Inside Mag, left-hand glass, good. Theo Mag working on a career-high 9 points, all here in the first half.
Really good body control there, and well, I don't know how he got that pass through there.
And then Suter committed the foul.
Yeah, Theo had a really good body control. He was under control the whole time. Took a nice jump stop to get himself under control and gathered, and scored a nice strong basket.
I got a feeling if you're watching the local news here that Theo Mag is going to show up quite a few times
every
because
time.
I just saw Dylan head out to put it on the local Lima News tonight. So if you're an OG fan, or you're a big Putnam County guy, you probably should tune into the 11 o'clock news. Jenkins at the line, knocks it down. What a smooth-looking shot.
Yeah.
For a guy that came in a 50% free throw shooter. Now goes Lightwine with 1:30.
I thought the game at Heidelberg was a lot closer than the score, indicative of the score, but they kind of pulled away towards the end, and I think, I think this is going to, again, it could come down to the wire, or one team could pull away towards the end, but it's an OAC matchup, and you got to be ready to play.
Johnny Cunningham back in for the first time in a while for ONU.
Good job. So they're trailing that screen on Carter Reese. So it was a great job to curl that because he was in his hip pocket, so he could trail that. Now, if he jumped underneath it, Carter would want to kind of flare that screen a little bit. But he did a great job of curling and getting to the basket.
So the Polar Bears down by 1 after multiple lead changes. The ball up on the lob all the way around the world. Miller caught it twice. That was impressive.
They switched that last screen on Carter that time.
Cunningham looked at it and said, "Can I take this guy to the basket?" The answer is yes. And he used the square. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, nice high off that glass.
So the lead back to 1 for the Polar Bears with a minute to go. ONU shooting 12 of 27. Heidelberg 11 of 24.
Kind of keeping the ball on the right side of the floor. Not a lot of ball movement
Johnny.
there.
It's like he had eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah.
To the basket again.
I'm not sure Coach Buhai's happy with that ball movement last time down the floor. They didn't change the floor, go side to side or anything. They kept it on the right side, tried to force the issue on the right side.
I saw his face, so I'm going to say no. He's not happy, and he's extremely apoplectic about this one.
Yeah.
Another good defensive play by Jowdy.
That could be an interesting locker room at halftime.
I'm glad it's way down that hallway and a couple of turns away from where we are.
Yeah.
I don't go that way because I get lost every time.
Well, yeah, it's
like a maze back there.
It is.
31-28. Walking the maze might be good, though. Might calm him down just enough.
Yeah.
So ONU has got about a 5-second differential between the shot and the game clock here.
There's a little back screen by Jacoby for Carson Conley.
Forget that. 3 balls.
Got it.
They are landing. Carson Conley, his 15th of the year.
And they were able to get that because of the help.
And now, instead of ONU trailing less than a minute ago by 1, they not only lead by 6, but they've got 5 seconds. Best and brightest play here.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 seconds is a long time, too. So, they got that 3 from Carson Conley because everybody had to kind of sink in on that roll. And, it was a nice high shot, nice arc on the shot. It's going to be a little
Miller all the way to the basket, kicked across. Now,
somebody was supposed to be
The problem is it was supposed to be Carter Reese.
Yeah.
When that play started, Reese was on that side by the cheerleaders. Yeah. Miller anticipated that he was going to be there, and he just threw the ball, and he found out the cheerleaders are not eligible. Closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
Ohio Northern with a 34-28 lead on the First National Bank scoreboard here at halftime in Ada on NK Telco Sports.
Together, we are our family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
If you're a veteran, surviving spouse, or a dependent of a veteran, contact Shelby County Veteran Service Commission today. We can help you apply for a wide range of veteran-related benefits that you earned. Shelby County Veteran Service Commission. Veterans helping veterans.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Back here in Ada, it is halftime in the First National Bank scoreboard and a 34-28 lead for the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Don't forget, you can catch replays of this game on Channel 160 on Thursday at 6 o'clock on the NK Telco cable app at nkt.tv. Big thanks to the sponsors, too, for helping us do this. Channel 3 and 503 on Valentine's Day at 2 o'clock or the 15th at 2 p.m. as well. You can also watch games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. Big thanks to First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco. And look at the halftime stats brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. A lot of lead changes in that first half, Rich.
Yeah, couple stats that surprised me a little bit is, first of all, the paint points are about the same, 20 ONU, 18 to Heidelberg. Second chance points does not surprise me. Heidelberg 11. The 0 for Ohio Northern does surprise me, but Heidelberg's really known for going to those offensive boards and getting those second chance points. 13 to 9 turnovers surprised me again. ONU has the 13 points on turnovers versus Heidelberg's 9 with normally their pressure defense. It's usually a little bit the other direction, and then bench points are pretty close to being even, 16 to Heidelberg and 12 for ONU.
So 8 lead changes in the first half, just the one time that the game was tied, but a career high at 9 points for Theo Mag. Shout out to his grandma, because I found out during the half that his grandma is paying attention and is listening. Theo's career high before that was 8, set in that loss to John Carroll, 82-75, where he played 23 minutes. That was a career high for him. He maybe will be in that ballpark today, but he had 8 points in that game. scored in back-to-back games, and you just kind of look at, what he's done in limited minutes. He's only got that one game where he's played more than 20. He's got now 4 games where he's played 10 or more, but continuing to kind of push Coach Young for, hey, give me some more minutes and watch what I can do.
Well, then that happens over practice. If somebody consistently starts to stand out over practice, and that happened over break as well, when you get to practice a little bit longer, twice a day. And so I think Theo kind of emerged out of that and probably showed in practice a lot of consistency, and the minutes went up.
Oh, Young with a beautiful move right out of the gate. I said he did not score in the first half, and he's finally able to get it. Is that a sign of something being changed to get him going?
That was just it was an isolation play for him in the entire time. He came off of the screen. Pretty good isolation play.
Good move, but nowhere to go. Better defense. Good move, better defense is kind of a thing.
So Heidelberg kind of turned up that defensive pressure there. Panic did a good job as far as with Joe Jacoby, nothing to go to. Missed it.
Just too long on the backdoor lob, but I'll be honest with you, as that ball's in the air, I'm thinking how Panning is going to probably destroy that rim.
Yeah, no, he just kind of took a little soft touch approach to that, and it was maybe not quite on target. A little bit, he had to take a soft approach, I think, to it because of the pass.
I think I just don't dunk with finesse. I try to use a little more power, hit the top of the meter.
There's that backside block that's kind of vulnerable, and see at that time Panning was the screener. So if you screen and you seal your man off to the basket and they're switching things, you're going to be wide open. Especially since we're playing really on the ball on that out of bounds. We really get on the ball heavy with our bigs.
Eric Panning 1 for 1 in the game from the line. He's 81 of 123, make it 82. That's his 6th point. But just an impressive player. Second team OCC in high school out of Columbus Westland. Was an all OAC pick. He's the #1 rebounder in the league. And he's got a smooth looking touch.
Yeah, he really does.
So a 4-point run to open the half. As the Polar Bears trying to find their first offense. Kind of a flip of earlier on where Ohio Northern came out the aggressor on the scoreboard.
Yeah, gonna have to really
Reese.
Just gonna really have to attack the.
It's just got a good look. You gotta start that way.
Just Ohio Northern's gonna have to continue to get those back cuts and attack the basket.
Wyman, the All-Ohioan, 1,000 points, over 100 starts in his career in high school.
He's big. He's strong.
First 2 points for him. Country strong.
Coach Young is not happy. He thought he was kind of pushing off with that forearm a little bit.
Johnny with the reversal. Good kick into the back corner for 3. Says 4 in his jersey, but it's 3 in the bottom of the bucket for Blake Michael.
Yeah, he's had a good year. Blake does a great job. He does a lot of the little things like rebound on basketball. He's a leading rebounder on the team.
That's a giraffe sort of move. Yeah. Just take a step back, watch the ball come with you. Long outlet out ahead to Reese. And it was a 6-point run on one side. It's now 5 straight on the other end, and Reese has got 9. Good job of running the floor for him.
Yeah, here comes a nice big white ball screen for Panning. Oh, he was looking for that little pass the entire way to Panning. Which is short. It's that offensive board where they got a touch on the ball.
It actually ended up being kind of a 4-on-4 because Watkins took off going the other way.
Yep.
He was sure it was going in. Now on the run, great dump down through traffic and back-to-back baskets for Plyman. Carter Plyman, 12 letters in high school. He had 3 different sports. Miller, beautiful back cut.
And you know what? Heidelberg knew it was coming. They were calling out whether they knew it or not, but that was a great setup for Will to isolate himself on the right side of the floor, set him up high, get a great backdoor cut.
Ohio Northern women continue to extend their lead. They're up 55-38 near the end of 3. Heidelberg women needing one of those threes. The ONU women are 9 of 23 from 3 right now.
Oh,
that's feels like they're getting some things done. Of course, as I say that, they turn over the ball. Look, I can jinx a game an hour away. All right.
Yeah.
Reese on that double down.
Oh.
And a foul, an offensive foul.
Oh,
I can see, honestly, from the angle, Bear fans aren't going to be happy, but it looked like Jacoby sort of, as he was going down, he kind of grabbed the guy beside him, or in this case, kind of on the floor.
Pulled him with him,
tried to steady himself.
Yeah.
The problem is that Ohio Northern and Blake Michael and Caden Jacoby each have 3 fouls now.
Yeah.
Carson Conley, please replace your divots. He got a great round of applause off the bench. I'm not sure if the kids across the way or his teammates were cheering the hardest for that. Wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
Please don't scuff the floor. Thank you.
A little dribble handoff into a ball screen by Heidelberg. So great little hesitation move, but stolen away. Blake Michael got a hand on that ball.
Reese ends up with it with the free steal. He's one of the leaders in steals for Northern a game. And Jotty with the running hook shot. 2 different guys.
Boy.
Tried to tip it in. Would have been really neat to see him double dunk it.
Yeah.
I don't know who you would have given the points to.
Wow.
Pull up for 3. Watkins.
There's that offensive rebound again by Heidelberg. Lightwine really went hard to the basket.
Lyman will pull up for 2. Finds the back iron. Not helpful. Ball rolling away. Miller with a 1-on-2 coming back. And he just... Got a little too fancy, I think.
Lightwine.
Oh, geez. There he goes. Second triple of the ball game for Zaid, and he brings his team with his 10th point back within 2.
I thought he rushed the one he had before that at the top of the key, but that time he pump faked, got the guy in the air, and he did a good job getting himself set for that shot.
You know, that turnover from Miller the last time, it's the second time now that really a guy just wasn't where he thought they were going to be.
Right.
Northern's, well, I was going to say down to 7 on the shot clock, but a turnover fixes that. I love Panning's game, though. The fact that he's kind of that point forward role where he's able to bring the ball up.
Yeah. So that was a little dribble handoff into a ball screen, and he did a good job coming off that screen with that first step to tie the game.
Yet another tie here in this ball game. 15-11 to go in the second half. It's a 30-second timeout brought to you by Precision Strip here on NK Telco Sports.
The Hometown Opportunity Platform is exceptional.
It is focused, laser focused on the careers in our 4-county region.
100% of the time we go to Hometown Opportunity. We've had great success from a handful of applications when we need them, as well as a recent one where we had 67 applicants.
Honestly, it's a competitive advantage.
The hometown experience has been everything I could have dreamed of and more.
Tied at 41 here in the second half. 14 turnovers for Heidelberg, 12 for Ohio Northern. Big difference maker is points off turnovers. Neither team was real great at it during the break. 16 points off 12 Northern turnovers for Heidelberg. 13 points off 14 turnovers for Northern. But offensive rebounding, 9-4 in favor of the Heidelberg.
Yeah, you got to get a block out on Heidelberg because they're going to come hard to the rim, and some of our guys, you can't rim run. Rim running is just kind of turning and going towards the basket. Well, if you don't get a good block out on somebody's going to get ahead of steam and go right around you.
Theo Mag back into the ball game, brings a completely different lineup with him. And how about this? We talked about bench points earlier on, but a 15-0 advantage for Heidelberg in second chance points.
Yeah.
So they will try to go the end of the floor. I think everybody was kind of confused about where that was going to come from. Here will come the Ohio Northern offense under the sophomore guard, and Mason Studer, D3 Player of the Year in Ohio in 2022.
Yeah. This has a little more pattern, a little back cut, so a nice little cut by Carter Reese.
For 3.
Yeah, so he made a back cut off of that Princeton look, and he immediately got a rescreen for a 3. And that's what happens when you hedge and you protect that back cut off of those double back cuts off of the free throw line area. That was a good cut.
Also, he hit that from Bluffton.
Yeah, it was a good cut.
A couple of miles down the road is a foul on the floor. This will be on Studer. This will be the third different Polar Bear with 3.
So that last series down the floor, Mike, that was a little more pattern look than the motion offense right there.
So Conley returns to the Polar Bears lineup. They actually gave the foul.
There's a little flex action.
But Reese, number 5 in the OAC in 3-point percentage.
Oh, there's a lob, a little short. Well, he was pretty high up, but then he was on the nose of the polar bear when he tried to make that lob, and that's not an easy lob to make. We always talk about throw the ball to the corner of the backboard, not to where the player's at. Let him go get it.
Well, I've often thought about what would happen if you lobbed it to Klondike up above the court, but
see,
he's
here's that
9 feet tall. He's just not a great dribbler.
Yeah, here's that little bit more of a pattern offense now into the motion with a lot of screening around the free throw line area.
Mag tried to screen and roll.
A little bit of low pass.
Comes back to
See if he can make
the
some
low
moves
block.
on him. Nice spin
Trying to get his
move.
first double-digit game in college,
Oh.
and he is going to be fouled.
So Theo did a good job. So he made a spin move, and then when you got a 6'10" player on you, if you try to finish on the opposite side of the rim, you can't get a clean block because the rim's blocking you to make the block. And that's kind of what happened. He finished on the opposite side of the rim, and it was hard for Eric Panning to get a hand on that ball.
You know, I guarantee as we hit a precision strip timeout, we stay here and look at the standings in the OAC, I guarantee there are going to be a lot of people who are looking at the score of this game right now and saying, wait a second, what's going on down there?
Yeah.
The Polar Bears 9-10 on the year. They try to get back to 500. You look at kind of what's going on around the OAC right now. Games that really kind of hedge every single thing.
Yeah.
Everybody needs wins right now to try to keep that top 6 alive.
And if anybody knows anything about the OAC, there are also a lot of people out there, Mike, that really aren't too surprised with the score right now.
Otterbein leading Wilmington 58-42 in the second half. John Carroll all over Baldwin Wallace 70-46, and then they don't have internet in Alliance or in Columbus.
Yeah, that may.
But the OAC itself right now sitting with John Carroll 12-0 in the conference. Mounts behind them at 9-3. Marietta and Heidelberg both at 8-4. And again, this is important for Heidelberg too, because staying in that top handful, trying to get yourself a home game.
Yeah.
Then you get Capital and Otterbein sitting just in front of Northern at 6-6. So this would be massive for Ohio Northern. 4-8 right now in that 7th position of trying to put themselves.
It's actually a big game for both teams.
The officials are complimenting the clock, I think is how that works. Said you guys are sharp. It's the first time I've ever heard an official be happy with the people at the table.
Well, there's some basketball knowledge sitting over here at this table. Rick Sherrick's doing the clock and shot clock, and he's a long-time basketball guy. He played for the New Bremen Cardinals back in the 70s. A really good basketball
he's not going to like that you said
team, and then he was an AD and a coach for a while at Allen East, so he's been around the block a few times.
Mag, who is 2 of 2 now with his first career double-digit scoring game with 14 minutes to go, but most importantly, gives ONU a 45-41 lead. That'll make Grandma happy.
Oh, good.
Oh, good little give and
hesitation
go.
move, yeah.
Look what I can do.
Yeah.
Deshaun Cobb looking like a young Rich Bensman.
Yeah, yeah.
You weren't allowed to dribble
Not
like
a long
that back
time,
in the
and
day,
I'm very
right?
good off the bounce like that, I can tell you that. But he drove that open post. He saw it was an opening, and he drove it. So
Suter violently rips it away, and now we play a game of hot potato. Back to the same guy off the turnover.
Oh, there's a shooter in the corner.
I think there's a lot of shooters on the floor.
Yeah,
right
I always said, I like having shooters, but I like having makers better.
There's one.
Yeah,
Bill Jenkins with 2.
Coach, you got some shooters? Yeah, I got some shooters. I need some makers.
Well,
that was a good lob.
It's the Charles Barkley quote. Good things happen when you shoot the basketball. So also bad things, but 31-31.
He was big on backside rebounding. This ball's coming from the right wing. Get to the backside of the basket because that's where it's going to go.
2, 3, 4 bounces and straight down. That's a guy, and I don't think kids understand this anymore, that between him and Dennis Rodman, they're not big guys. They're both 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Both have said rebounding is a matter of how much you want the basketball.
Yeah, and their bodies, they were thick. It looks like Heidelberg's trying to come out a little bit more aggressive, put a little more pressure on Northern. They picked the ball up full court with Mason Studer, and they've kept on that pressure this entire defensive series, but got a little bit too much of a body there on Will Miller.
I think there's a gentleman in front of me who would argue that there was too much forearm on the other end.
Yeah, he would, yeah. You could have.
There's a good chance.
There could have been that with Mason as well, coming up the floor. But if someone is draped all over you got to create space.
Miller, wow, that kind of an awkward take, and it'll roll off Theo Mag. It'll come back somehow to Miller.
Oh, boy.
On the step up for 3 in the lead. Offline left. Hit the rim, though, so it stays alive.
Langford, good hustle. Nice extra pass by Carson
Studer
Conley.
for 3. Polar Bears have 4 different opportunities there that is just hustle.
Yeah.
Just doesn't end with a shot going down.
That was a great.
Mag with a block with the right hand. Jenkins with a rebound. Theo altered it, and then as the ball is rolling on the rim, there's a foul away from the ball.
Yeah.
And we on Theo Mag.
So that was a great extra pass by Carson Conley, last offensive trip down the floor. He had it, but he also recognized if you go one more, he's going to be wide open. He just couldn't convert.
Chandler thuds off the back of the rim. He hit that big 3 earlier on. Guy, though, 12 of 19 from the line. Johnny Cunningham back in for Ohio Northern.
A little short. Oh, got it. So much for my
Shows what you know.
much my interpretation there, right?
Well, we're 1 for 2, I think. I was talking to a couple of people during the break. It was Theo's dad. And he said, did that shot go in? I said, yep. I said, how'd he make that off the lob? I said, I don't know.
Oh, gosh. Good. See,
Studer from straight away.
Gotta hustle, but
it's the hardest thing to explain, though. Don't throw it back into play.
See, that's what Will's really good at right there. He kind of waited, hesitated, gave him some space, and he lunged in for that steal.
Mag had it blocked and sent out of play.
And that's just what I'm talking about with Will's court sense and basketball IQ. I could have said that was a 9 out of 10 times thing that was going to happen. Somebody that's on the drive, leading the break on their own, and Will's kind of waiting for him there.
Unfortunately, it doesn't lead to any points for Ohio Northern.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, Jenkins with a great take, and he rolls over into a blocking foul on his Studer.
Yeah.
You can see the look on Studer's face as he went to the floor of, can someone explain how he got me for my 4th? And Coach Young had his fingers on his temples of, I don't know.
Like the scene where he was with the, the little violation stripe down there low. That probably was the key right there. Last time down the floor, Heidelberg hard-hedged it really hard, and they had to sink in with the opposite guard to cover that roll. And if Ohio Northern would have made that extra pass, Mike, to the wing, he would have been wide open because that's who they were sinking down to cover the roll. That was so open for Ohio Northern.
He was just outside.
Yeah.
Kind of a good look because we've got great replays. Or great shots, and it's just enough delayed for us to get a replay. Nothing going down for Jenkins. It stays a 2-point lead for the Berg at 11:26. Mag on the double down, goes with the left hand, and Jenkins got him again.
Yeah, that was good. That was good defense that time for Heidelberg. But Theo goes strong. Oh, there's a little lob play in the middle. That's a backdoor.
That had some heat on it.
Yeah, it did. It's good when he could have a hesitation move here. There it is. Good help by Will Miller. Yep. Will calls that turnover, and Carson Conley was in really good help position to make that steal. It wasn't a very good pass, but Will got a touch on it.
Johnny with a chance maybe to tie this ball game or take the lead here. Northern on the reversal. Theo throwing downhill. Miller had to throw it up over his head, and it didn't go. Johnny with the steal, now trying to deke the defense out.
Yeah. Miller actually got that one from behind. So he passed him on the drive, and Miller kind of scooped it from behind. It's something like Rick Pitino when he was at Lexington, when he was at Kentucky.
Oh, you're going to have my wife fighting you now.
Yeah, he used to teach that on the press. Let him go by and flip it. And once again, that's just a great basketball IQ by Will Miller.
Yeah, people in Lexington are not going to be, you're never going to be allowed there again. It's the wrong color, I think.
Yeah.
Senny Crum will be happy, though. Miller with a great take.
Dang.
Spins out.
Oh, he's a one-on.
What a move.
Pretty good move, but ended up, got his own rebound back. Still didn't get it.
As they
Big, strong take.
I was looking down and can someone help me up?
A
There's
little
a three
short
on
right
the
there,
run.
a little short. Let's see.
Miller's trying to
swipe that away.
Yeah.
Here comes a little high ball screen. He refused the screen.
Guy behind us saw the travel before the officials did, apparently. Or turnover of the half. There's that timeout. I've been waiting for it. I heard it. Let's see if they give it. No?
It's not the media yet.
That's what I was confused about.
It's going to come 7 or under.
There's not.
No, there's nothing.
But it was kind of an oddity in that I've been hearing the Heidelberg bench say, Coach, take that timeout.
Yeah.
ONU women are just having themselves a night right now. 12 of 31 from 3, leading 73-50 in the fourth. They need that win.
Yeah.
Well, I guess at this point you need every win.
Yes, Jody recognized the drive on the open post. Kick out,
up
inside
top.
out look. Good job by Jacoby, and a foul.
Caden Jacoby has not scored since early in the first half when he had 6 in a row as part of a 7-2 run to open the ball game. Cobb's foul will be his second. It's a Heidelberg team, again, that scores 81 a game, but they're going to have to hustle to get to that point.
Yeah.
49-47. Jacoby can put Northern into the 50s.
And I think, again, it's going at Ohio Northern's pace, obviously. But they're running a lot of offense, and that shortens the game a little bit.
So you look at it, and talked about over 80 points a game for Heidelberg, but they give up 72. That's 150 points a game. Just how many possessions that is, that they like to play that. And there's Cobb off the glass showing he can do it as well.
They used to, back in the day, pick up a little earlier, Heidelberg did, and pick up full court a lot of times. Great lob. He just
left-handed lob almost into the hallway.
He's going to the rim.
And missed on the run, the foul likely to be on Carter. ONU 21 of 48 from the field. Heidelberg got 19 of 42. Teams have combined to go 8 for 29 from 3. And there's the timeout.
Yeah, that's a timeout, Ohio Northern.
It's a
so then we're going to
strip timeout.
We'll get another one right after this immediate timeout.
So it's a full timeout here on NK Telco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
8.5 minutes to go in this ball game, tied at 49. Chris Oakes, Jordan Pingle, and Michael Stevenson, the officials for tonight, and a chance for both teams to really make their mark. We talked about that as it's gone along, but a couple of guys perhaps noticeable by what they've not been able to do against the opposing team's defense. Trey Watkins 0 for 6, and he's a huge part of what the offense does. 13.7 points a game, 3 assists for him. There have been 10 lead changes and we've been tied 6 different times. I feel like I say this a lot when we're together for some reason, but this feels like another one of those games that might come down to who has the ball last.
Yeah, that's good OAC play. I mean,
Lightwine dents the front of the rim and puts one down. 13 of 15 on the year now. Gives his team the first foray into the 50s. Now 51.
He's got a little hesitation in that shot when he gets up to his head. Hey, it works. It works.
Again, he's only missed 2 of 16 on the year. Jotty with nowhere to go, waits for a screen down through and backs it out. Reese.
And try to get got a little higher post touch. They push him off the block a little bit there.
And Jacoby's not going to shoot from out there. He's taking just 1 3.
Look at
Clock
that.
down
See,
to
there
8.
he
He didn't know that there was nobody there.
No, and there was no help from the opposite side. And Heidelberg's got to do that because I don't know if Ohio Northern's recognizing that if you just turn it to the wing, you're going to be wide open if you have help down from the opposite side.
And inside, we'll call it a block on the outside, but that's such an awkward play, though, because he went into his move, and when he sort of backed down, he thought he was going to find some resistance. And, wait a second.
There was nobody there. And that was the backside. That was the backside help from Heidelberg. It just wasn't there. And they got to continue to get down with that opposite guard and make Ohio Northern recognize that if you hit the wing, he's going to be wide open. But they didn't have to because there was nobody there to stop the roll. There's that nice little curl cut. They switch it for a while, but...
I was going to say, Jenkins is not going to chase Jacoby around the floor.
Nope.
He'll kind of stay in the high elbow as Johnny off the glass for two. High off the square for 21, and he's got 5 shots that have went down. They've all been important. Last time he tied it at 47. This time makes it 53-51.
I'm going to try to get a little high-low there. Panning, so they're getting a little impatient right there, but they'll take the bank shot.
Isaiah Young had no points in the first half. He's got 6. Overtied again, now for the 12th time in this ball game.
Yeah, Heidelberg does not like the score being this low.
It's got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Speaking of scores that are low, the Heidelberg women on the offensive foul held to 50 as they fall 78-50. Mackenzie Soprano leading the way for the Bears, who hit 13 threes.
Here's the media timeout, and I agree with Coach Young on that one. They caught a moving illegal screen, and I don't know. I didn't see it.
6:59 here in the second half on the Precision Strip timeout on NK Telco Sports.
We are here and here and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
What you don't realize about these broadcasts, if you can't see every part of it, is it's always amusing to, at any point, not be paying attention and just have a hand in your face or sitting on the table of, you have 5 seconds until you better have something good to talk about. Keeps you on your toes. The band is in the house, and I love that we're now returning to students being back in here. We're getting to that point. We're getting into February, which happens to be tomorrow already.
Yeah, it's a great addition of that. The seats over there on the far side, they're not too big, so it's not cavernous, and there's now a spot for our student body. Before they would sit on chairs and stand behind, and now they got a pretty good area to sit and root on the Polar Bears.
So we'll see how the men finish up. As again, the women's 78-50 winners in Tiffin. They'll be back in action on a Saturday. But a 53-53 ball game, and the temperature has turned up both on the floor and in this building. Somebody just kicked the AC on, I think.
Really trying to seal that post. Oh, Carter Plyman with a pretty good drive there.
Looking just like he did at Botkins.
Yep, that's why you have a lot of Botkins fans right now in the building, because they're just right down the street.
Well, that D4 title game was something else.
Yeah.
He put on a performance in that ball game. 1,000-point scorer, Shelby County Athletic League Player of the Year, honorable mention All-Ohio, which I think he got robbed on.
Yeah.
It's the Bears with a double down. Oh, Johnny with a beautiful spin. And everything is going in right now.
Yeah, it was a good pass. It was a good skip to the corner, and it was a good pass. Oh, Lightwine, little lob to Panning.
Panning was the 4th guy to have a chance at that ball when it was in the air.
Yeah. Carter Plyman was going for it. It looks like the long arms of Eric Panning just kind of came over and said, yeah, that's my ball.
Again, I'm telling you, he's going to slam one of those at some point. You just have that feeling. Miller's going to return for the Polar Bears. He will do so right now after yet another change. We kind of talked about how Panning can have a big impact on this game. He's got just 2 field goals. Those came early in the first half, but he's been electric at the line. He's been perfect. He's 4 of 4.
Yeah, and he's pretty good presence on the boards, rebounding, and he's been a pretty good presence down low on when Ohio Northern's got some drives.
He came in 80 of 122. He's hit 5 out of 5.
And there's that hard show.
And Cunningham is fouled. I'm kind of with Isaiah Young, though, to be honest with you. I'm not saying he didn't commit a foul, but I feel like that was kind of a little touch thing that has been letting go going down the lane.
Yeah, a little nickel and dimer that's kind of been a part of this game.
Theo Maggs back in. Will Miller's in. Cunningham off that screen.
Oh, see, he's still not reattached to Theo
Tried to
Maggs.
sell the foul, and he was eventually able to get it.
His head every time. Every time he's holding his head.
I love watching when one coach is yelling at the officials to watch the other coach turn and just kind of watch him do it of, shh, quiet down there.
Yeah, he's contending, the assistant coach is contending that Jottie's throwing his head a little bit and having a little bit of an Academy Award there is what he's contending.
Well, what's coming up next? The Oscars, I think, are in March. Oh, Will Miller from way downtown. I think it's the Grammys that are coming up this weekend.
Look at that.
It's 2 different guys could have caught that.
Yeah.
As Blake Michael's trying to get out of traffic, he's fouled. That'll be on Lightwine. That'll be his second.
Yeah, that's so. Assistant coach for Heidelberg actually, his dad lives in Ada, and it's Corey Harvey, and he was the one contending that he's kind of throwing his head a little bit when he's driving.
He's probably feeling like he's got to get a call because he's at home.
Right. No.
Studer through everybody.
Jeez.
Not strong enough on that move as it's bandied back around.
Oh boy.
Long outlet ahead for a one-on-one. Miller cannot commit the foul, and he cannot get in front of Cobb.
That was a really good outlet. Kind of an overhead pass for Panning, Eric Panning.
First time in about 6 minutes that someone has led by more than 2.
Good job by Blake Michael keeping that alive for Ohio Northern because that was going to go the other direction.
Theo Mag faked the handoff, took it to the basket.
Good refusal of it.
Oh, and it came right back to him. Welcome to Theo's world. We're just living in it.
Yeah. So that was going to be a dribble handoff, and Theo refused it, turned and spun, and had a pretty decent look to the basket. But shooting over Eric Panning is not easy.
It's a precision strip timeout as the Polar Bears pull back within 59-57. Here with 4:32 to go in this ball game, you kind of get to this point, Rich, and you've been a part of a lot of these where these tight games here in this environment, what this game means to both sides. Are you maybe making adjustments right now, or are you just kind of going through what you do and sticking to it?
That, going through what you're doing and sticking to it. There's a couple schools of thought in basketball, surprise and change or consistency and execution. So I was more of a consistency and execution guy. Every now and then you had some wrinkles in a little bit later than this, but it's the grind, Mike. You just got to stay the course because, like I said, I've been in so many of these games that separated themselves by either 2 to 5 points.
And this looks like this is going to be yet another one. There are a handful of guys in the game with 3, but the most important Polar Bear in terms of fouls right now is Mason Studer. He's got 4, and he's on the floor right now for the Polar Bears. Miller's got 1.
Okay, so that was a nice little designed entry. They're still not up more. They want to drive out of this. Good job by Will.
Cobb thought he had himself a way to go. I heard armbar.
Skip past the Lightwine. He's
wide open.
Oh, boy, that couldn't go any farther down the cylinder.
4:09 to go. I think you're not supposed to get that on the road.
Yeah, that was deep, and it was it rattled in and out. It looked like it was going, but great, just sometimes it's a matter of the roll. Carter Reese is not using that free throw line screen to take it to the basket. He's popping it now the last few times, and there was a little flare cut. Yeah, so once again, he's refusing a lot of those cuts through the lane, and he's making a pop cut or a flare cut. That was a flare cut, and he was wide open on the wing.
Big game players, big time shots, I think is how that goes.
Yeah, it's a good cut.
Working himself with a game high 15. 3.5 minutes to go, the no-look dribble from Plyman. The kick out, who's there? Of course, it's the big guy in Panning again. Resets it with a shot clock resetting. Tell you what, Northern is having to play deep into their defense right now.
Good job by Blake Mike, although he just got called with a little bit of body foul, but he's definitely doing a good job of.
That's going to be his fourth.
That's his fourth.
So to put Plymouth at the free throw line.
At the line for Heidelberg, Carter.
6'5" freshman out of Botkins. I would list all the superlatives about this kid, but we just don't have time. He missed the free throw. That's a big one. Remember, it wasn't that long ago. He gave his team a 55-53 lead, but now he's got to hit this just to tie it.
Missed it.
Ego Mag with a rebound. So, and you right now, look at the difference of the free throw line. You'll see Ohio Northern's 2 of 4, Heidelberg's 12 of 19.
Yeah, see, there's that Reese screen. Carter Reese is really working hard for his shots, and he's doing a good job cutting.
Mag wanted to throw downhill and backdoor with 10 seconds for Miller. Studer was over there. Now here's Reese down to 6 and 5.
And here he
Pulls
goes.
up right wing, crossover, step back for 3, needs it, got it. Good in the foul.
He's saying that Coach Harvey wants a flop, but he's saying that you got to let him come down in your space after you take that shot, and that's what the official said. He didn't let him come down in the space, and he still nailed the shot.
Looking for that Monday Night Raw, the roll-up to get the 3 count. Unfortunately, the 3 that he got was a 3 at the bottom of the basket.
Yeah.
Cunningham just kind of runs himself in.
Yeah, it was a tough shot, and I thought it would be a little long, but he nailed it. And again, I didn't see where he came down, but you got to give the player space to come down, and he didn't do that.
Ends up being just a 3-point play. As Reese, 54 of 67, normally pretty reliable from the line. But for the first time in a long time, a 4-point Polar Bear lead with 2.5.
Yeah, really denying Lightwine the basketball. There's a little drive. Good job by Blake Michael on the help defense. Missed it. Yeah.
Young with the reversal of the basketball. Now, 2:21, you obviously work on late game situations. You're down 4. How much, if you're Heidelberg, are you stressing to your kids, we do not have to have 3. We can play for 2s.
Yeah, no, that's a big part of it because it's a couple score games, but they just, Ohio Northern's just got to, they're being a little, just kind of, that happens in a motion offense sometimes, Mike. You got a cutter and you got a passer, and sometimes they don't read each other well. Will kind of wanted to take him high and go back door, and we kind of made a post to nobody that was there.
2:09 in the second half. Polar Bears with a 63-59 lead here on a full timeout on NK Telco Sports.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Was that Lightwine with that reversal that didn't go in?
I think so. It was Young, by the way. As we're back now as Isaiah Young.
Yeah.
He's had a rough go of it. Yeah. Tied the game at 41 with about 13 minutes ago on the clock. Now it's 63-59. You can see the drawing from Heidelberg from where we sit, but what are you thinking here? I mean, are you thinking 2 for 1 of we absolutely have to stop them no matter what and get a steal and a score, or?
So probably most likely whatever Andy Buhai just threw up there, that they've worked on it in practice in late game situations. Most likely it's not something that's brand new that the players have not seen before. Sometimes coaches do that. But usually it's just reiteration of here's some of the last situation stuff we worked on in practice. We're going to run this.
14 lead changes, 9 ties.
Nothing there.
Now chasing the basketball back into the corner. A hand from Jacoby on the 3, long, and that's not necessarily the game for Panning. He's 0 for 3 on the season. Minute 45 to go. Polar Bears can get down to about a minute 20 if they play through this possession.
Yeah, really good back screening and the ball screens and a lot of action. Ohio Northern's really doing a good job running this. They're just getting down late in the shot clock now.
Jotty now on the move with a beautiful bounce pass. Whipped it hard inside. Jacoby is going to be fouled by Panning on his way up, and the bailout of the shot clock, which was at 3. Actually, it gave the foul to Jenkins. I really would have thought from the angle that there's no way he could have been the guy who committed that foul.
Yeah.
Here's Caden Jacoby. First free throw did not fall down. This one, he rattles it home. Now 18 of 40 on the year as Jenkins saunters back past.
Theo Maggs waiting to check in for Jacoby, the shooter.
Theo Mag has had himself a game as Reese took a seat. That rainbow for Jacoby. He at one point made it 51-51, but Ohio Northern on a run now of a 6. They lead by that amount.
Sprint into it is what Coach Buhai's asking for here. See, that's what they wanted before, a little drive to the hoop, and they didn't get it. They got the stick back.
And the timeout as Cobb gets it to. So we'll stay here again. Another First National Bank scoreboard look says 65-61 on the precision strip timeout. Minute 13 to go. Ohio Northern's got 10 fouls against them. Heidelberg's got 8. Possession arrow says Heidelberg. 2 timeouts left on each side. You've got 5 guys in the game right now with multiple digit or double-digit scores going on, but the final minute 13, I mean, 5 points either way isn't necessarily out of the realm of possibilities. We saw it earlier. Northern had 2 different 5-point runs in about 12 seconds.
Yeah. And right now, Ohio Northern's just going to have to come down and value the basketball, meet all passes, and kind of run through a little motion offense, continue to get, I would imagine they're going to come out in that series where they're getting some back screens off of the free throw line area and just reading the screen, re-screen it and get a pop from the top of the key or make that basket cut to keep Heidelberg's defense honest.
It's pretty funny because in our Keyhole Pizza Keys to the game, Coach Young said ball security is one of our big things. If we can be +1 or 2 in the turnover margin, that will be big.
Yeah.
Currently, they're +4.
And Ohio Northern set up anticipating a full court press here, and they're gonna get that. It looks like it's right now a man-to-man full court press.
That'll be Carson Conley as the trigger man, the senior.
A little diagonal screen. Good job by Carter Reese breaking up all. A
baseball
nice job
pass.
to go long.
You always got Miller. One-on-one for him.
Good job by Will.
Smart move.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to have that basket, whereas normally he might play I'm going to beat you one-on-one.
Yeah, and that's a great job with Ohio Northern, Coach Young. You can't let anybody poach on you. So you send someone deep, and that kind of is a pressure release guy.
Will Miller took the home run. Is now Jotty down to 4. Throws
down
inside. Theo Mag wide open at the buzzer.
Yeah, that's been open all day.
Theo just hung around long enough to get his 14th point.
Here it comes again.
Nobody got back on the other
man.
side as Cobb with another 2.
Yeah, they're going to run and jump it up the side. They want to try to get somebody going up the side. They run and jump it.
Left-handed baseball pass ahead. Who else? Will Miller. And he's fouled at 29.5. Not much else you can do. But Zeitwine of trying to grab him around the hips. Now Will Miller at the free throw line. 1,150 points in high school. At a career high 27 against Marietta this year. Timeout.
Coach Buhai wants a timeout.
Well, you know what they say. You've got them, might as well use them.
Yeah, that's right. Can't take them home with you,
There's
Mike.
no room in the bus to Tiffin.
That's right.
That will just not work. We'll stay here on the precision strip timeout. You look at the 3-point field goals right now. Ohio Northern 7 of 21. They're 28 of 58 overall. 24 of 53 is Heidelberg. Got 3 of 14 from 3. But again, the one big difference, 12 of 19 for Heidelberg from the line. Ohio Northern's just 4 of 7, but they're going to get 2 here.
Right.
Sorry, it'll be 1 here, actually, because that was a 9th foul.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 and 1. Yeah. You said
stared
one.
At me.
You said 1 out.
Well, he gets 1 because he's got to hit 1 to get 1.
Yeah.
Because unlike high school,
one thing kind of threw me. You said he gets 1.
Unlike
That's
high
why
school, when you get
you.
5 fouls, high school has eliminated the 1 and 1.
I don't like that rule.
People haven't seen that. I don't think most coaches do either. Offensive rebounding, though, 14-9 in favor of Heidelberg. We talked about how that would be a big thing. They're outscoring at Northern in bench points. Points in the paint are about as even as you could get. Second chance points were 16-0. It's 18-4 now. Yeah. Fast break is pretty much even. It's mostly been an even game. Each team has just gotten spurts to control. So here's Will Miller. Miller playing with a season low, just 3 points. Guy behind us, he yelled out, "Miller, your mom is calling." Sorry, he's got 6 points. Blake Michael has 3. I don't think she's going to call at this point.
No, I don't think it's going to bother Will either at this point.
I don't think he cares.
He
missed 1 out of 2. See, he got 1.
So this will be a quick drive to the basket. It's going to be a quick, there he goes. Good job by Theo.
Theo Mag with a steal.
You can't a little too much jelly on that roll.
He's had 2 easy steals.
Yeah.
As now he'll go to the free throw line. See, this time he'll get 2. Because it's the 10th foul.
Thanks, Mike. So that was a good job.
I don't know if you've been around basketball. I just wanted to point that out to you.
That was just a great job of crowding the floor, and Theo did a good job. You knew he wanted to get to the basket, but that's where maybe you can have a quick hitter without just a naked drive like that. Theo was right there. He tried to go around the back. Well, he went right around the back into Theo.
Theo Bill is what his Uncle Chris calls him. First team all WBL as a Titan for a team that went to the state finals and the state semis his last 2 years. His first of 2.
A little short, looked like a little bit of a moon ball.
Did you hear those birds screaming in here?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was.
So the timeout, Theo was hit 2 out of 4. The Polar Bears are back home on Saturday. It's a game you can watch on YouTube and also on demand at nkt.tv. It'll be Marietta on Saturday, at Baldwin Wallace next Wednesday, at Capitol next Saturday, and then Wilmington on Valentine's Day, and Muskingum on Michael Jordan's birthday on the 17th.
Yeah, so they got a couple tough ones coming up to fight for that 6th spot to get in the OAC tournament, and if Ohio Northern can close this one out, it's a really big win for Ohio Northern.
So you look at Theo Mag, 6 for 9 from the field in this game, a career high 14 points. Doesn't tell the whole story though. Yes, he's 2 of 4 from the free throw line, but he's got a career high 8 rebounds as well.
Yeah.
He got 18 points from Carter Reese, 12 from Johnny Cunningham. Shout out to my dude Keith Udendorf. Again, his basketball knowledge was not imparted to Will Miller, thankfully.
Yeah, they've had a nice few really good teams these last few years.
He's got a pretty good one this year.
Yeah. You drive through Ottoville though, you just count how many houses have a hoop in their driveway.
I would imagine most of them.
Yeah, they do.
Freshman Theo Mag averages 2.7. He's at 14 right now. His mom is not calling because I can see his mom from where I'm sitting at, and she's not on her phone with Grandma.
I think that little girl behind us took that line of the guy who said that.
That did not work either time, by the way. Anytime their mom calls, they make the shot.
Yeah.
69-63, ONU with 15 seconds.
A little dribble handoff.
Maybe his mom should stop calling. Elbow jumper, smooth-looking shot. That's the first basket for Trey Watkins, and he averages 13-7 a game.
Yeah.
Between he and Isaiah Young, they have 8 points. They come in, they average 29 collectively.
And he's been really good over the years. I mean, he's been around for a while, just like Eric Panning, and so he's been pretty impactful. I remember when he was a young freshman playing, he was pretty good.
Well, one of 2 grad students, Emil Jenkins being the other for Heidelberg. Coach Buchheit in his 11th year, 132 and 134. get his team at 12-7 right now, but in danger of dropping to 8-5 and falling out of that high spot that they're currently tied in the OAC standings. So 69-65. I can hear the entire instruction set being said in the Heidelberg huddle right now. Talking about getting a steal, getting a score, and I said, crazy things happen. Basketball is just a crazy, ridiculous sport in which all of a sudden
you could right now hear Mike put what I'd like to call center fielder or a mid-court guy who's got the basketball out of bounds. Everybody else deny and switch and deny. Maybe you can get a count. But that center fielder there is there to protect that long ball in which Ohio Northern ran last time down the floor.
So all the fouls right now, Mason Studer in, he's 20 of 23 on the year from a line.
So they're going to put 6'10" Eric Panning on the ball.
Carter Reese, who's 54 of 68, down to one knee and fouled with 8.2. And the guy you were talking about in Panning is the guy who gets the foul. Theo was down on the other end. He said, that's fine, guys. We'll just let him go down there and stand by himself.
I still want to know where he was going on that one play. He was heading down the
well, they get
other
pizza
side
after
of the
the
floor.
game.
Maybe
I
that
think
was
he was trying to beat the rush.
Yeah.
So I wonder, do you think that Carter Reese's mom will call while he's shooting?
I don't know. Let's hear. I think that ship has sailed.
They gave up.
Yeah, that ship has sailed.
At 3:45 to go in this ball game, he hit a three that made it 60-59 ONU. He just put down a free throw that makes it 70-65 with 8.2. And he didn't even need his mom to call as he gets another 20-point game.
No, I think they gave up on that one.
Well, maybe they just couldn't find her number.
Yeah, it could be.
It's also very possible.
Maybe they lost their cell phone.
71-65. And remember, Coach Young talked about we need to be at least +1 or 2 as the three is off balance. They came into this ball game needing to control the turnover differentials. They end up being +5. So they're even better than what he said. 71-65 is a win for Ohio Northern as the Polar Bears go to 10-10 on the year and 5-8 in the OAC with a 5-point victory on the First National Bank scoreboard. Back in a few to wrap things up here on NK Telco Sports.
First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
See you, Mike.
Back here one final time in Ada tonight, where Ohio Northern comes away with a win in the OAC to get to 10-10 to drop Heidelberg to 12-8, 71-65. You see there all the First National Bank scoreboard. And a big thank you to the First National Bank, along with Keyhole Pizza and Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco for helping us bring you this game. And a Grand Lake Health Systems stats. Ohio Northern had 14 different lead changes in this game. They led for 23 minutes and change to just 11 and change for Heidelberg. 9 times this game was tied. Second chance points way in the vein of Heidelberg. They had points in the paint as well, but points from turnovers, 21 for Ohio Northern, 23 for Heidelberg. 34-28 at the break, and even in second half, and a 71-65 win. Things that kind of stick out. You look at Isaiah Young, didn't get a lot of points, had 6 points to go along with 4 assists. The big scorer, Deshaun Cobb, with 14. Zane Lightwine before he fouled out with 12. That means you did a great job of keeping everybody else in check. Panning had 9 all late, but a good job defensively for ONU to hold a team that averages 81, 16 under that.
Yeah, I think, Mike, the pace was at Ohio Northern's pace throughout the game. And once again, they did really good guarding in a half-court nature. But when you come down and then you run your motion offense and you change the floor, as we'd like to call it, and go side to side and use a lot of that shot clock. A couple times it got them in a little trouble because they had to take a shot that wasn't a great look at the end of the shot clock. But for the most part, they controlled the entire tempo of this game.
Northern got a big effort from Will Miller, despite the fact he didn't shoot the ball real well. 2 of 11, but he ends up with 5 rebounds and 5 assists, 5 turnovers as part of that. Northern got a big game. Again, Johnny Cunningham does not have to score to be a part of this offense. Yes, he has 12 points, but he also grabs 12 rebounds, hands out 7 assists, a couple of steals as well. Just guys who get it done. The point scoring comes from Kaden Jacoby. He has 12, just a couple of rebounds. Theo Mag with a career high in 2 categories because he had 15 points to go along with 8 rebounds. Shotty had 12. Carter Reese had another ho-hum game with 20. Despite, he's pretty good. He's got, I think, nearly 20 in all but about 3 or 4 games this year. But Ohio Northern didn't shoot well from 3, 7 of 21. They hold Heidelberg to 3 of 14. Free throws, teams shoot a combined 20 of 42. Not anything to write home about, but anytime you come away with a 6-point win and you stop that streak that Heidelberg's been on in this series, you've got to be at least happy for, 20 minutes?
Yeah, and the 4-game losing streak of your own. Again, that balanced scoring, that's nice for Ohio Northern. You can't lock in on any one guy when you have that kind of balanced scoring, and that comes from that motion offense. From time to time, Coach Young will run a little bit more of a pattern look, where there's a lot of back screening off the free throw line. It's kind of got a Princeton look to it, and they do a great job cutting off that. Because if you hedge that back screen to protect the basket, you got an easy pop or a rescreen for a 3. And so I think Ohio Northern really knows what kind of shot they want and what they want to get, and they're playing really well at home.
Northern now wreaking some havoc in the OAC. They came in tied with Wilmington, who was losing last I saw. Top 6 teams make the tournament. You've got Marietta coming here on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, while Heidelberg will go and try to keep themselves kind of in that upper echelon in that top 4 at Muskegon before they visit Capital. Northern, though, with the win. Impressive, 71-65 is the final. A big thank you to our cameramen Mark Fissel and Paul Downing, Kurt Governor and Jim Miller as well, our assistant director and Jeff Henshin, and the man in the truck, and the man who sends me messages to my watch in Austin Ambergy, who's got a long trip home after this. It is always a pleasure to work with you, Rich Bensman.
Yep, you too, Mike.
My name is Mike Kern. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow from all of us here in Ada on NK Telco Sports.